Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we've got a really interesting challenge, actually. We've been handed this collection of excerpts, narrative snippets from a fictional world.
Right.
And our mission, basically, is to sift through it all. We want to connect the dots, pull out the juicy details, and really understand the web of characters and secrets here.
Yeah, it's like piecing together a puzzle. These sources, they're dense. Lots of names, lots of events, and things that seem separate at first glance.
But aren't.
But definitely aren't. Our job is to kind of see that bigger picture emerging from all these little pieces.
Okay, let's just dive right in then. Let's unpack this. Where should we start? Maybe that first interaction, the phone call, Brian calling his dad Berg.
Good starting point. Because right away you feel something's off, right? Berg doesn't mess around. He asks Brian, don't beat around the bush, all right? What's been causing you trouble at school?
Yeah, straight to the point. It hints that maybe Berg expects trouble from Brian.
Well, the sources tell us Brian has this talent, this genius for building mechs inherited from his family line.
Ah, okay, so a skill.
A significant skill. And apparently he's using it to help someone named Caesar with, well, something described as underhanded and unlawful.
Involving a mech called Suzaku.
Exactly. And the text is super clear. His dad and granddad would be absolutely furious if they found out.
So family drama brewing tied to his mech skills. Got it.
Right. Now, shift gears a bit. We meet another character, Lin Yuan, in a totally different context. Simulation training.
And his experience is intense. He gets taken out by this opponent, doesn't even see them coming.
Taken out fast. Like, wire in his neck had already been chopped off fast. It signals this opponent is, leagues above him.
But there's a weird moment, isn't there? A flash of recognition.
Yes, that's key. Amidst the shock, Lin Yuan almost thought that he saw Ling Yu. And he specifically notes the eyes, clear and limpid black eyes.
Those eyes. Okay, filing that away. Ling Yu.
Remember that name, yeah. But first, let's link Lin Yuan to Caesar. How do they connect?
Okay, so the sources say Caesar found Lin Yuan online, picked him out as an apprentice, even though he supposedly didn't want a newbie.
Which is interesting, right? Why pick him then? Caesar invests a lot in him mentoring, giving him points for mechs, really pushing him. He sees something there.
Definitely. And this relationship, Caesar and Lin Yuan, it opens up the whole societal structure, doesn't it? The alpha, beta, omega thing.
It does. Caesar actually confides in his brother, Jue. He says he's in love with Lin Yuan, his roommate.
Who he thinks is a beta.
And Jue's reaction, surprise, concern. He brings up royal family tradition and the expectation of marrying a pure-blooded omega.
So boom, immediate conflict. Caesar's feelings versus major societal and family pressure. It's political.
Absolutely woven into the fabric of their world.
Yeah.
And this classification system hangs over everything at the military academy. Lin Yuan starts competing in the mech competition.
And he's the underdog, right? The dark horse.
Totally. A first-year beta from the command department making it to the semifinals. The sources say people were stunned. Inconceivable.
Because betas aren't supposed to be that good at mechs.
Apparently not, especially compared to alphas. It shakes things up. And the stakes are high, top 10, go to the national finals, maybe even see the emperor.
Okay, complex world. Now let's bring in Snow. We see him interacting with Brian.
Yeah, and there's definitely a vibe there. Sharing a couple package meal, Brian offering to cook. Snow seems reserved, but feels this warmth.
A connection forming. But Snow's got secrets too, right?
Yeah.
Something about inhibitors.
Exactly. The sources mention inhibitors specifically. Snow's worried about a new formula, hoping it'll work. Maybe last 3 months per injection.
Inhibitors.
Yeah.
What does that usually imply in these kinds of worlds?
It's almost always linked to omegas trying to suppress their secondary characteristics, their scent, maybe passes beta or just manage their cycles. It's a huge clue about Snow's identity.
Right. And that ties directly and pretty dramatically to Lin Yuan, because Lin Yuan thinks he's a beta.
He insists on it. He tells Caesar he has an immune system defect. That's his story.
But his mother, on the communicator, she panics when alphas are mentioned in relation to his condition. That doesn't sound like an immune defect.
Not at all. It completely undermines his story. And then Caesar just asks him point blank, could it be you know that you are an omega?
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. And then, bam, traumatic estrus onset right there. Caesar has to mark him to stabilize the situation.
Whoa. Okay, that's huge. The consequences.
Immense, especially for Caesar, given his royal status. But he says he'll bear them. And interestingly, Emperor Trent, when asked to cover it up, apparently couldn't retort.
The emperor couldn't push back. What does that tell us?
It suggests Caesar's actions, maybe driven by the Alpha-Omega bond or just his determination, carry a weight that even the emperor has to respect, at least in that moment. And this whole situation, the reality of being an Omega needing inhibitors, leads us to the undercurrent.
Right, the secret organization. What are they about?
The sources say they study Omega inhibitors. It's made up of Omegas, including scientists. Their name implies resistance, like they're pushing back against how Omegas are treated.
Okay, so a hidden resistance group focused on Omega biology and survival. More secrets. And speaking of secrets, let's jump back. Rosen and Ling Yu.
Yes, the names we flagged earlier. We learned Ling Yu faked his death. It was a strategy, apparently very lifelike, to let his people escape.
And Rosen has been looking for him ever since.
For years. The source says Rosen tells him, "Missed you so much for all of these years." It's personal, deep history there.
And the connection to Lin Yuan, those eyes?
This is the big one. The sources reveal Lin Yuan is their son. Rosen's reaction is pure shock. That boy is actually his own son. Realizing the son he thought may be impossible, unexpectedly, truly became a reality.
Mind blown. So Lin Yuan is the child of these two major figures, one presumed dead. Rosen feels like an unqualified father.
Huge regret, yeah. And gratitude to Mrs. Lin, who raised Lin Yuan without him knowing his origins.
So wait, that opponent in the simulation, the one with Ling Yu's eyes, could it have actually been Ling Yu or his data?
That's the strong implication, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ling Yu, operating secretly, maybe even testing his own son without realizing or revealing himself, it adds another layer.
Definitely. And the family tree gets even more complex. We meet Ling Feng.
Ling Yu's elder twin brother, a doctor. And guess what? He's involved with the undercurrent. He gave Ling Yu the inhibitor that helped him fake his death.
Wow. It's all connected. Ling Yu even asks Ling Feng to check on Ling Yuan at school, keeping tabs from afar.
And Ling Feng has his own hidden past, with Udir.
Udir, another new name.
Yeah. Udir apparently lost his memory, but he seeks out Ling Feng, maybe recognizing something. There's this dramatic scene where Udir shows Ling Feng a necklace with his name, forcing him to admit who he is.
Triggering a lost memories.
It seems so. Udir talks about having forgotten who you once regarded as the most precious person. It's about loss, hidden identities, fractured relationships.
This web just keeps expanding. How does Snow fit into this part?
Get this. Snow is the son of Ling Feng and Udir.
No way.
Yes. He inherits Udir's looks, with the azure eyes and platinum blonde hair. So the Omega using inhibitors is the child of the undercurrent doctor and the man with the lost memories.
So Snow meeting Ling Feng and Udir, those are reunions with his birth parents he likely never knew or remembered.
Exactly. Awkward, deeply meaningful reunions. Snow's caught between the life he knows, his feelings for Brian, and this sudden flood of family history and secrets.
Which must make Brian even more protective, right? We saw that flashpoint with Udir.
Oh yeah. Brian sees Udir near Snow and basically freaks out, thinking Udir is a threat. This idiot, why did he suddenly run over here to throw away his life?
And then Brian tells Udir that he and Snow are together, that he's marked Snow.
He does. Even though he hasn't actually marked Snow, he's using that alpha possessiveness, that claim, as a shield for Snow, playing the role.
It's interesting, though, that observation the sources make about how alphas like Brian and Caesar can sometimes seem less important, almost pitiful, compared to the inhibitors and the whole Omega identity struggle for Lin Yuan and Snow.
It's a fascinating perspective. Like, the alpha's power dynamics are one thing, but the Omegas are dealing with something more fundamental to their existence and safety in this world. Although it does note Snow is slowly warming up to Brian.
Okay, another massive reveal. Berg, Brian's dad.
The current boss of the undercurrent.
What? The seemingly straightforward dad asking about school trouble is running the secret Omega resistance.
Apparently so. His motive: protecting Omegas, stopping them from being treated like house pets. He understands their struggle, maybe feels some responsibility.
That explains his interactions with Drew, being cagey with information.
Right. He's orchestrating things. Leaking info about the Black Dragon mech replica, the type Ling Yu uses specifically to help find Ling Yu and Rosen. Protecting Snow is also key, given Snow's parentage.
So Berg's leak directly impacts the military plot line.
Absolutely. Rosen is making a move on Naomi Starr. Ling Yu is secretly helping with that replica mech.
And then the ambush.
In the wormhole.
A setup. 2 Federation legions attack. Rosen and Ling Yu get thrown off course, swept away by a cosmic wormhole to a desolate, unknown planet.
Stranded together after all those years.
Forces the reunion, and in that cave, we learn more about Ling Yu's past 18 years suppressed by inhibitors. And then The bombshell. He's pregnant with Rosen's second child.
On a desolate planet after an ambush.
Yeah.
Wow. The timing.
It's intense, but Rosen cares for him, washing his feet, making the cave comfortable with things from his mech, little moments showing their bond rekindling.
They even watch Rosen's fake funeral on TV.
Yeah, part of the larger deception. And we get hints of Auguste's deep scheming, plus Karaman's betrayal of Ling Yu, someone Ling Yu promoted. That fuels Ling Yu's desire for revenge, to retake his legion.
Meanwhile, Lin Yun is back at the academy, just mastering an S-class mech, the nine-tailed fox, and getting a 300% match rate, which is unheard of. It marks him as exceptionally gifted, maybe linking back to his unique heritage.
So the younger generation is dealing with all this fallout. Lin Yuan meeting his parents. The source says silently wept bitter tears, like losing the life he thought he had.
And Snow meeting Ling Fang and Udyr. He has this delicate appearance, but a solid heart. Likely from years of hiding and being independent, they're both navigating these huge revelations.
And through it all, Caesar and Lin Yuan's relationship deepens. The sources get pretty explicit there.
Yeah, the confession, the 10th encounter, the spacecraft incident, the warm white liquid, Lin Yuan's shame, Caesar's persistence. It builds towards Lin Yuan finally trusting Caesar completely. No secret that Lin Yuan couldn't tell Caesar.
That trust becomes crucial, especially with Berg's intel leading to a rescue plan for Rosen and Ling Yu.
Which succeeds. The end of these excerpts confirms the rescue, the reunion of the Dark Knight Legion leaders.
Okay, deep breath. We unpacked a lot there. What started as, school troubles and simulation fights spiraled into hidden identities, secret organizations, decades of history.
It's incredible how it all connects. Every little detail, an immune defect, a worried glance, inhibitor use. It wasn't random. It was a breadcrumb leading to this huge, complex saga of military coups, secret Omega networks, family trauma, and identity itself.
Yeah, and you see characters constantly wrestling with societal rules, the Alpha, Beta, Omega classifications, while dealing with their own pasts and discovering who they really are.
It definitely makes you think, doesn't it, about how much hidden history or unspoken truth might shape our own lives, our own identities, the relationships we have. What secrets are buried just beneath the surface of the worlds we live in.
That is definitely something to mull over. Thank you for navigating that incredible web with us. Until next time, keep digging.